One of my heart objectives when I was blessed with the opportunity to be this community's leader was to have a choir. And I've now adopted you officially. So when you're here, you're the everyday Coda Singers. You're the Coda Singers every day. No. Anyway, do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lighting the flames of faith, a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of divine love, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the middle way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the healing candle. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Please stand, face the center aisle or the screen, close your eyes and cross your hands over your hearts. Take a moment to breathe in the loving intentions we've just sent out to the world. Now, open your eyes, and with the eyes of God, see God looking back at you. Namaste.
Rev Ann's talk title today is Focusing on the Good. So today's reading is a possible demonstration on what could happen if we focus on the good as peace. This is from Marianne Williamson's book, The Gift of Change, second to last page. At this time, and through our efforts, we are called to a great vision, to think the thoughts of a world at peace infused with total love. For until we think the thoughts of peace, peace will not be ours. We will end war not because we hate it so much. We will end it by loving peace so much more. We will love it enough to try to live it in our own lives. We can wage a preemptive peace in our hearts and in our politics, and then one day we will notice that war has disappeared. Years from now, when we ourselves are no longer remembered, people will live on a peaceful planet, not knowing whom to bless, not knowing whom to thank. Children will ask their parents, "Is it true that there was once a time when people had wars?" And the parents will say, "Yes, there was such a time, but a very, very long time ago. Wars don't happen anymore." And when this happens, surely on some level our souls will receive the blessings we gave. We will lift our glasses to the heaven we are already in, and with both tears and laughter, we will howl, "We did it! We did it!" Okay, affirmation. Focusing on the good as peace. I share peace everywhere I go. Say that with me. Focusing on the good as peace. I share peace everywhere I go. And so it is.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, I'm Joseph Salek, the music director here at the Everyday Center. And this morning, as you have already heard, we have wonderful musical guests, the Coda Singers. They've been here 4 or 5 times maybe already, and it's really a pleasure to have you here this morning. Yes, and I'm going to invite Alicia Abbott up to come and tell us a little bit about the Coda Singers.
Thank you, Joseph.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's our pleasure to be here. Good morning, Reverend. There she is. Thank you for inviting us again. And Patricia.
Get in front of this.
So
Oh,
that Zoom
excuse me.
people can see you.
Hello.
Good night.
Good morning. For those of you who may have not heard us before, we are Coda Women's Chorus. We are a group of women, some of whom have been singing together for decades. We are under the brilliant directorship of Ms. Lydia Madrick, who brought us together after we were a bit of a diaspora of singers, and we sort of came together to create this group. As I may have mentioned before, we started right before the coronavirus nightmare, and we were interrupted for about a year, and it was really, really hard to not be able to sing. So when that pestilence had receded a little bit, we were able to get back together and sing, and it is our pleasure to be here. We have a concert coming up. Just thought I would plug that for those of you who may want to come hear more of what we have to sing. This morning, the 3 pieces one that you've heard and the 2 more that you will hear are part of the repertoire for our concert. We've got a lot of other wonderful things. It's the 4th of May at the UU, the Universalist Unitarian Congregation on Barcelona. We would love for you to attend. Tickets can be bought by Patricia. I'm sure we'll have tickets for us. Anyway, thank you so much for having us here. It is our pleasure, as always. Thank you, sir.
I need the cords off the pedal. Thank you.
I had moved the stand, sorry.
Oh.
There's. I'll tell you what I want, I'll tell you what I want, so I'll tell you what you want, what I really, 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 really want, what I really, really want to sing, oh, if you want my future, forget my past, if you want to get with me, better make it fast, no, don't go fast, time, time, get your act together, we could be just fine. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So I'll tell you what I want, what I really, 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 really want. What I really, really want, really want to sing. Oh, if you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends. Make it last forever, Ever's friendship never ends. If you want to be my lover, you have got to give. Take it easy, but that's the way it is. Oh, what do you think about that? Now you know how I feel. Say that you can handle my love. Are you for real? I won't be next time. I'll try. If you really love me, then I'll say goodbye. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So I'll tell you what I want, what I really, 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 really want. What I really, really want to sing. Oh, if you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends. Then to make it last forever, Ever's friendship never ends. If you want to be my lover, you have got to give. Take it easy, but that's sing and sing. Ah, if you want to be my lover.
So that's a classic 16th century Spice Girls.
Magical.
So let me tell you what I want. What I really Oh, this is great. Just tickled me. And how many of us would say that? How many of us would say that to anyone? Let me tell you what I want. What I really, yeah, all of those reallys want. Well, I want the peace that Deborah spoke of. I want to love peace so much that I don't notice that war is not happening.
That's right.
Wow. I don't think there's anyone in the room who hasn't been here before. But just in case there is, or someone who hasn't been here for a while, I'm Rev Ann Rea, and I have the great joy and the great privilege and the great opportunity every day to be among this wonderful community as its guidepost. I decided that senior minister was old news. I haven't told anybody else yet other than my community, but senior minister is kind of I thought guidepost was better, at least for now. And today we're talking about focusing on the good. My very first teacher in this philosophy, and as some of you may or may not know, we are not a religion, we are a philosophy. And our philosophy is based on principles, spiritual as well as universal principles, that are built around the central focal point of there only being one life. And that life lives in and as and through all of us and all of its creation. And my very first teacher in this philosophy, she so loved this quote by Ernest Holmes, that was see the good, be the best, and treat life with love.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been echoing in me over these past few days, and so that's why we're talking about focusing on the good. And I love picking conversations for us to have about things that don't seem obvious. Because focusing on the good right now is not the easiest thing that we may have ever asked ourselves to do. But I'm happy to tell you, in case you've lost sight of it completely, that there is good happening in the world.
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
And I know that there are also other things happening in the world, but those other things are not the only things that are happening in the world. There is good happening in the world, there is good happening in our lives. If we're paying attention, there is good happening in the lives of people we love. There is good happening. And if we aren't looking for it, if we aren't able to see it, if we aren't able to be it, then not only will we miss it, but others might as well. Because we have the opportunity to carry, there's a beautiful song called Carry That Candle, which was sung here a few weeks ago. We are able to be that candle. And even though people may not recognize what they're looking at, they know that they're looking at something that helps them feel better. They're looking into eyes that actually care about looking into their eyes. You know, the exercise that we do at the end of the 4 directions and that we did this morning at the end of lighting the flames of faith is not just a casual exercise. Looking at each other and truly seeing each other, which I often have us do again at the end of service once we're in our circle, so that we really see each other and we really feel that we are being seen. That's one of our greatest opportunities, is to look, is to really look, is to really look at the person that we're speaking with, is to really look at the person who just walked into the room, is to really look at each other. Now, you all, our new choir, you all hang out with each other a lot. And I invite you to not let that become so customary that you stop seeing each other. Because it is such a gift. It is such a gift. It is such an opportunity to offer ourselves to someone else wholeheartedly, without condition, without expectation, and without it being impacted, without that seeing of each other being impacted by anything else that's going on. We can help each other remember to look for the good, to look for and actually see the generosity that happens in the world. To look for and actually see the caring that goes on in the world. You know, a few weeks ago, Deborah and her force for good made a presentation here about the unhoused. in Santa Fe. And not only did we hear stories of people who had been unhoused, but we listened to people who are actually doing something about it. And, you know, it's pretty easy if all we do is read the news or listen to the news. It's pretty easy for us to think that nothing is being done about anything,
Right.
or that whatever is being done is bad. But not always. And where is our focus? Where is our focus? Yesterday, there was a huge rally here in Santa Fe that happened at the Roundhouse. And a gazillion people showed up. That's a lot. And what's interesting was it started to snow and people stayed. And it started to snow harder and people still stayed. And what was valuable to me about being there was the expertise of the speakers. Because they weren't just there to prattle on about what someone or someones are doing wrong. They weren't just there with, well, there was a couple of exceptions, but they weren't just there to rabble rouse and get people all fired up about more and more and more accusations and blame and you know, if it wasn't for them or it wasn't for that, then everything would be peachy keen. You want to bet? The only way everything is going to be peachy keen is if it starts with us.
Yeah.
And the people who spoke about their different interests and their involvement in different areas, it was like going to school. I learned so much yesterday about areas not areas that I wasn't interested in, but I hadn't really been exposed to before. Not in a way that these experts, these people who are involved up to their eyelashes in whatever it is, who really care about whatever these circumstances and situations are, like our natural environment. I'll just pick one. Don't we all care?
Yes.
You know, the real point of yesterday was not politics. Certainly there were people there who wanted to make a political point. But the real point about yesterday was human rights. And that is not political.
That's right.
We have a divine right to live in peace, to live in love, to be that love, to be that peace. We have the opportunity to help to grow these important opportunities, even just by caring about them. You know, a funny thing happens when more people know stuff. When more people know stuff, that does something. It changes something. And the people who were there yesterday who were really listening, and I'm not suggesting that not everybody was really listening, but what do I know? I can only speak for myself. The people who were there who were really listening learned things they didn't know. And that changes things. Because once we learn something, whether it is our value and our importance to life right now, here and now, not just in this room, but in this city, in this state, in this country, in this world, we are here for a reason. It's not just random. And as we start to realize the significance of that reason, and that we actually, just by taking on the responsibility for living our life to the fullest, which means opening our hearts and minds and beings to others, because there's more than enough in me to go around. It shifts. It's like the tectonic plates, that shift, that in some cases cause earthquakes. Well, it can create phenomenal change. Phenomenal change. Without disruption.
That's right.
Without disruption. What did she say? That it can happen without disruption? Yes, it can happen without disruption. Let me just ask. And sure, don't try to keep up with me. I'm not really looking for anybody to give me an answer. But do you believe, does someone believe that peace requires disruption?
It does not.
My favorite response that I heard to my question was, If peace requires disruption, then it's not peace.
It's not peace. Right.
It's disruption. So I think that there's an opportunity during this very weird and interesting time in some ways for us to reevaluate things. For us to reevaluate how important is it, really, to focus on what is being suggested that it is so bloody important for me to focus on. When there really doesn't seem to be much I can do about it, personally. So what can I do something about personally?
Myself.
Find your peace within.
Whoever said whatever it was, I want to hear it, and I didn't.
Myself.
You can do something about yourself. Bless your heart, Patty.
Get on it.
Find your peace within. It starts within all of us.
Peace, here's a novel thought. Peace starts within all of us. So as long as we're waiting for peace, I'm thinking this might be what you're saying, Rita. As long as we're waiting for peace to be handed to us on some kind of a silver platter by somebody else, we may have a long wait.
Right.
So what if we decided to just be peace? That no matter what it was, no matter where it came from, whether it was another person, someone close to us, someone we didn't know, someone on the television, someone who writes newspaper articles, whatever, that we decided individually and collectively, we decided right here this morning that we're just going to be peace. Now, what might that look like? Let's say someone who thinks that there ought to be an argument. There ought to be, we might see things differently and there ought to be an argument because otherwise, how would I defend how I feel? And how could I tell you how right I am? And we just stood there. That's all right, Patty, you don't have to hold it in.
You know me well.
Do you know that there are two things that diffuse an argument almost instantaneously? One is lowering your voice. So if you have something to say, say it really softly. And just keep lowering your voice. And lowering your voice. And lowering your voice. Because what you're doing is you're bringing a softness and openness, a receptivity into a space that someone else, consciously or unconsciously, is determined to make contrary. And then smile.
Yes.
You know, no matter what someone's opinion is, I genuinely mean that I would defend to the death their right to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am willing to hear it. And I don't have to argue.
Right.
I can just listen. A lot of the anger that we are being told everybody feels Did you hear what I said? A lot of the anger we are being told everybody feels. Anybody in this room not feel angry? Well, there's at least 10 of us. But you get my point. I mean, generalizations are being made right and left about the right and left and in between, and it's opinion.
That's right.
It's opinion. Not good or bad, just opinion. Does everybody not have a right to what they believe? If they don't, then this philosophy means nothing. Because this philosophy honors all faith traditions. You just saw a ceremony establishing that. So how do we keep focused on the good? How do we keep focused on being peace? How do we do that anyway? Rita?
See the beauty, set an intention.
Set an intention, seeing the beauty. It's all about intention. Our perspective is established by what we believe. And if we believe that we are living in a hopeless situation and that we better be very afraid, then we are. And we should be. And if we believe that we are the ones who are in charge of what we perceive and how we are going to respond in any situation, and that we're, just for grins and giggles this week, we're going to be peace no matter what. Bless you on the truth. Then why not? Why not? There is nowhere, as some of my close Jewish friends love to say, there is nowhere where it's written that everybody has to see anything the same way. That everybody has to hold the same idea as true, or we're all going you know where in a handbasket. Nowhere. So my intention this week, and you're welcome to join me should you like, my intention is to be peace, to bring peace, to exemplify peace, and by that peace, honor everyone exactly where they are. Because the arguing and the misunderstandings and the unwillingness to listen isn't working. So I suggest we try something else.
Amen.
I suggest we try something else. What if this room and everyone in it right now shifted the world? I'm willing if you are.
Yes.
I'm willing if you are. And so it is.
If the ushers can come forward, please. Or not. So it's in this moment that we take a moment to be grateful. Grateful for the myriad of ways the Everyday Center for Spiritual Living blesses and enriches our lives. For the beautiful music, for the spiritual wisdom, for the fellowship, and for the kindness. So many things to be grateful for. And so in this moment, as we are in our grateful heart, it is our opportunity to give of our treasures to our beautiful center so we can keep the good coming and coming and coming. So let's say our giving and receiving affirmation together. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly, and so it is. Oh, and if you're not putting anything in the basket, just kind of hover your hands over there, just blessing the abundance. So in this beautiful dance and giving and receiving, for it is truly God's nature to give and receive, and it is our nature to give and receive. So we bless these gifts. We bless these gifts abundantly, knowing that the grateful hearts that contribute to our everyday center are in every moment, are blessed by the good that is our lives, by the good that is each other, by the beautiful good that Rev Ann spoke about today. So knowing that each one of us in this moment blesses our gifts as an expression of the good that we create as peace in our world. And together we say, and so it is.
shadows. Then one morning you passed, and I brightened at last. Now I break the day and complete the day with a song in my heart. All my worries blew away when you taught me how to say, grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a bitter, bitter pat? And the happy, happy tune is your step. Life could be so sweet, here on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over